Hello Internet, it's Egg. I'm immediately back in Factorio. I mean, immediately for me, obviously. The video upload will be happening whenever. Oh, yep, and that research that didn't quite finish last episode finished, so now we're on to the artillery. Where's being attacked? Okay, yep, predictably those ones on the corner, I thought those would be. I probably need to put a couple more down there. Okay, so artillery shells in the middle. We're going to need explosives, plastics, steel. Obviously the explosives go to... These are quite slow, aren't they? Don't need fast arms. The explosives go to both. So if we do it like that, we could put plastics on the same belt, I guess. Though if we're using that much more explosives, we might want explosives on their own belt and then plastic and steel on a separate one. That might be a better idea. And then on the other side we'll have the output belt for the shells and also a factory to make radars. So that's iron, gears and circuits, which we can just do by having the two belts come in, having the one belt come out, and then we can filter output the shells if we switch the radars onto the inside edge. And then we can just replicate this 2 or 3 times maybe for however many artillery shells we want to make. Now also, should we look at explosive rockets? Explosives on top of a regular rocket, and rockets are plates, circuits and explosives. So that's the same stuff the radars are made out of. Is that useful at all? Well, if we put plates and circuits on this belt, we could run it next to it and then have... And then obviously another belt of explosives on the back and the output. That could probably work. And is there anything else you want to make for explosives, like landmines, for example? I guess we could do that, but whoever uses landmines, and even grenades, fairly pointless. So maybe there's not much point in doing that. I think we'll just leave it at just explosive rockets and see if I really need anything else. What's that? That's 1 in 8. These are 1 in 8, so that's 1 to 1. Okay. So that should be just fine. So let's just take that and put it up here. Sure, with like 1 gap, I guess. How fast are the artillery shells again? 1 in 15. How often do we think we're going to be firing artillery shells? Probably not that often. Probably not 1 in 15 kind of often. So we're going to want probably this to filter out the radars. Wait, no, I guess we don't even need to. We can just break the belt. Right, because that's all that's coming in on that belt, the radars. For now, we can not bother. That should be fine. Let me just double check. Explosives, explosive cannon shells, and radars. Yes. Okay, so let's bring the explosives belt down. It's going to need to go to at least here. Okay, so explosives on the inside, and then this is plastic and steel, right? Yeah. steel and plastic. We'll just shift this around. And this one is explosives, so that's slightly awkward. I should probably just swap those around, that would make it easier. Yeah, alright, fine. Okay, so if we want plastic and steel now on the bottom instead. Oh, now it's going to interfere with this, isn't it? Well, no, actually what we can do is we'll just have this go across and then merge instead. That will be fine. Still not that convenient for the explosives, I guess. The problems of trying to make things look nice. Right, let's just do explosives first. So if explosives come like this, then let's do plastic and steel above that. That would probably be the easiest way. Something like this, probably. Except not quite like that, I'll have to go one space further up. Sure, that'll do. That'll do. We'll probably need to go red. No, we're going to need blue on that one, I guess. But luckily now I actually have the option to have blue undergrounds. So I can just completely bypass a mess like this. And the plastic split. Okay, explosives, plastic and steel, that's fine. It's about to get a lot more messy because now I've got to fit gears and plates and electronics. Which way round did I need it? I need plates and electronics on the shared belt and gears by themselves. Gonna need to move this lubricant pipe a bit. Right, circuits and plates. Okay, gears, circuits and plates, and then on the bottom of here we just need the explosives again, and then that's an output belt. So we'll do explosives in on here, and then transfer across. And you guys also need these bits. And then radar, we're going to need this and this and that. And you guys are going to be outputting... no, these ones are going to be outputting explosive rockets and artillery shells. Okay. So let me just get the explosives belt in here and we'll be good. Don't know if that's necessary to be a split. I don't think that's anything else that I'm going to be making further down the belt with explosives, but that's fine. So for now we'll just shove a box at the end of here, I guess. And just collect a few thousand. And artillery shells are like, you can't stack them, so we'll just have the whole box for now. Once we actually are able to make them. No, I didn't have enough efficiency modules. Go and steal some out of here. Okay, that should be fine. And then obviously once we actually get the artillery shells we can start making those. And I'm carrying some nuclear fuel around for some reason. I should probably go and dump that somewhere. And by somewhere I mean, you know, in the nuclear fuel area. The only place which would make sense to put it. Anything else we need to offload? I've got a whole bunch of engines that I should put back into the system, I guess. Don't need to be carrying them around. Some bricks that we can drop off, coal and stone, and that's pretty much everything we need. Okay, so this appears to be working. May possibly want those made actually even faster than that. But we can also always just extend that out. Now let's just go to 3 lines. No. Those guys are coming to do it. Actually don't need that there any longer, do I? Okay, good. That'll start stocking me up some rockets. So let's go dump this crap out of my inventory. And then we can think about, well, I was going to say think about what we're going to do next, but I guess we should start getting the stuff together to make the artillery. Okay, can we actually have another look at my power plant? Has it in fact inserted another fuel since we've been... Oh, it's just coming down to the end of this round of fuel, so we should be able to see once that hits 8k. If it's all working, it will insert one more fuel. Looks like I might need to go slightly higher than 8k because some of the turbines start losing steam pressure before it reaches that low. Okay, well, the fuel has been reinserted. It seems like that did indeed work, apart from the steam limit being too low. So let's bump that up to like... Well, it looked like it was okay at about 12, so let's put that in for now. It's going to make it so that we're likely going to waste some steam overflowing out of the tanks. I mean, not waste steam, waste heat, I guess. But it shouldn't be a problem. And actually, we probably won't waste heat because it will just be in the heat pipes. So it's probably not too bad to have it like that. But I think we finally finished bug fixing the power plant. That shouldn't have to think about that ever again unless like uranium runs out, or unless I accidentally convert too much of the uranium, which is why I moved the buffer box on this side. So there should always be a mostly full box of basic uranium to go with the 1000 of the processed. Okay, well, yeah, so we'll be getting artillery up during the sped up footage section, I suppose. Wait, let me drop off this stone. And coal. And bricks, wherever we can put those. Can we put them in? No, those are just full. Just wedge them in here. Then turn logistics back on. Okay, yes, so we'll probably get artillery online during the sped up section, which will involve building a few more train stations and probably fortifying them. I mean, my initial artillery posts are all going to be inside the walls, so I'll probably just put some extra guns, but when we actually start going outside the walls, like this bit of train line, once we start putting artillery posts out there, we'll create a blueprint for a properly fortified one. I might even go as far as putting flamethrowers on it, just for fun. Make it a bit more cool. Yeah, that should take up the next couple of hours. Get some more trains going and rearrange, and also maybe think about this circuit condition thing. Would probably be a good idea, because these trains are going to keep wasting fuel otherwise. Not that fuel is at all a problem. You've got this little thing up here and it's making fuel forever. And in the main base we're still not even through the first of the 2 containers that I have of reserve fuel. So that will be fine. Okay, so I'll be back in 2 hours after getting some fancy artillery going. And we're back, just in time to call up a demonstration of the artillery. So I've made this blueprint for the artillery post in my railway book that just latches onto the main line. And let me just let's set this train up so it actually comes up here. Post B, no, not time past, inactivity. 60 seconds of inactivity. Or no ammo. Or no flamethrower ammo. Okay. So it's currently going down to the bottom post. But it shouldn't actually stay there for long. Well, no, I guess a minute. Maybe I'll just skip it up here. And where are we getting attacked? Okay, down there, yeah. So I'm probably eventually going to stick an artillery gun down here and one up here as well. Just extend the rails to cover those spots. But I've been attempting to go with lasers and flamethrowers and attempting to use what is generally known as dragon's teeth, the little bits of wall to break up the enemy's pathway and to let the flamethrowers get the fire on them a bit better, but I'm not entirely convinced about the effectiveness of it. Or at least not these double wide ones that I was trying. Maybe I'll have to go back to single wides. Right, let's just send him up here. Because he should have quite a few things to shoot at, like all of these guys. And then we can see just how well the fire might work. Of course, the fire tends to work a little bit better on the bigger enemies, like the big spitters, because the biters get past the first stream of fire, but then the spitters pathing in behind them get burnt by it. So it can still be pretty useful, even if it doesn't completely slow them down. Okay, train, start firing. Now this should aggro a whole bunch of stuff. Yep, here they come. This will be where we see whether the dragon's teeth are going to work at all. Well, it's not terrible, but it still doesn't really hit any of the biters. If there had been any spitters, it might have followed up on them. Oh, here comes a bunch of spitters instead. Reasonably effective, and I mean, if I wanted to make this even more hardy, I could put a roboport in and just have them auto repair, which is why I left enough space in this design to fit one more cargo wagon. So in the future I can add a cargo wagon that could potentially bring like repair kits and robots and maybe even gun ammo, and not just have lasers. Okay, oh, those ones are just out of range. Well, I guess I can do this. Just manually target some artillery as well. Because for some reason manual targeting lets you shoot further. Okay, good. That should be that side pretty much clear for a good long while. course, the real use of that kind of automated artillery is more of a late game thing, or rather sort of post game, I guess. Because once you actually get space science that you can research artillery shell range, then that means you can cover a much larger area with the automatic artillery. Because at the moment, this area is like, it's not that big, really, for artillery. And of course, the manual is like twice as large, so imagine having that manual range for automatic. That's what you really want. So with those guys cleared, and those two artillery posts, I mean, I took some shots at these guys, but I need to clear out a few more before I actually extend the rail down into this iron patch. And then we'll also want to put an artillery post on the back and probably the bottom. And that was more or less all I got done in the last 2 hours. I mean, I fancied up the reactor with some concrete, just to make it look a little nicer when it's partially on landfill. And I partially paved the base as well. And this has still got some tiny amount of copper and stone left before I can get rid of this station. Although I'll probably still keep it as a siding just for those trains until I build another actual mine. And then down here I think I finally got this base to the point where it runs continuously at almost maximum capacity. It's still slightly less than maximum. I should probably go back and upgrade all of the wire factories to yellow, because the ratios are a bit weird, but I think it should work. But I can always go back and just upgrade the whole set to yellow, and that should ensure that it is, because I think it's coming out at about, the belt is like not quite 100% always full, so it's coming out at about 40 a second, where it should be getting 45. How are we doing for modules? 98, 180, 193. I think I might want to put preferential on the speed modules for a while, because I might need some more of those soon. We're still good on coal. I mean, we should be good on coal. With 3.1 million, we should be good on coal pretty much forever, probably. Because at this point, I'm not burning it. I mean, I guess it's still used for plastic, but I don't know if I'm going to use 3.1 million of that. Try and get my car back somewhere useful without having to go the long way around. I've ended up with a bunch of electric engines in my inventory again. Okay, and I'm also researching uranium ammo just because, I mean, there's not really much left still to research. Actually, let's just have a quick look at this. So I'll probably want to be getting Spidertron sooner or later, because, you know, I want to see the new thing, so that requires the rocket control units, which obviously we'll need to be researching anyway for the rocket. And then there's nukes, I guess. We can always get that. And then more or less everything else is just stat bonuses, I guess. There's inserter capacity, there's coal liquefaction in case we want to use coal up that way. And work a robot cargo size. But yeah, maybe the next focus will just be getting Spidertron after we've done uranium ammo. See how that thing works. I should really put some more radars down. It's kind of annoying not being able to see what's going on in my base a lot of the time. Let's just make a few of those. To have one covering the bottom half. Just stick it about here. I already covered the circuit factory and the mines, so that's fine. And I've integrated a radar into the artillery post blueprint as well, so when I build them out on the edges of my base, it'll actually start scanning more map as well. Oh, those turrets are getting attacked again. Yep, definitely going to need artillery over that end. And I'm still very slowly trying to get all this stone up here. There's a lot more of it than I thought there was going to be. I mean, I guess I could have just looked at the numbers and seen how much there was going to be. And we haven't had another power outage, so I definitely appear to have actually solved that problem. Finally got it all correctly wired. And even the uranium has stopped being processed, so that box must be full. That one's got 4.5k, and that one's got 1k, and the belt ahead of it. So yes, uranium's completely full. I mean, arguably I should just let that continue getting processed, but there's not really that much reason to. So apart from researching Spidertron and building more artillery, I guess next task really is just to continue buffing my circuit production. How much have we actually produced now? 1.4 million, which means we've got like another 300,000 before we hit 16 million total. So yes, we will want to fairly significantly upgrade that. If we can get at least, well, at least double would be a start. Just a straight copy of the top half of this factory with another full line of smelting. Oh, yeah, I really am going to have to get on those turrets because they're, I mean, that artillery post, because they're definitely getting feisty on that far end. But the pollution cloud is definitely looking, I mean, the far side of the lake is starting to absorb the pollution that's gone over the water from the coal power. And obviously there's just this real dense patch where I'm super speed moduling these last few mines. But beyond that, I mean, even with these, I guess these aren't actually running at the moment, but even with these huge mines, they're only making a moderately dense amount of pollution, so it's not going to be that much of a problem. That's the advantage of efficiency modules. And I guess the biter settings that I chose, these slightly sparser and less expansive biters. So yeah, I think we can probably call this an episode, and we're coming towards the end of the game, kind of. I mean, obviously I may not actually finish mass production 3 during the video. If I run out of things to research and I just have to start launching rockets, I might only get 1 or 2 videos after that. But we'll see how it goes. That's for next time. So put the end card onto the screen. It tells you about our Facebook and our Twitter, which in turn tell you about our podcast when it is uploaded to our website and various other podcast locations. And the thing that end card doesn't tell you about, because it should be fairly self-evident, is the YouTube channel that you're probably watching this video on, for liking and subscribing and commenting and all the other YouTube type stuff. And with that, I'm out of here. One more. One less.